All right.
Woo-wee! It is
Yeah.
a Wednesday. Man, oh man, it's a Wednesday. You know what? You're telling me you know somebody who feels sick today. And
Yeah.
when I first woke up, I almost feel like I needed to throw up. I was like, just feeling like crap, like holy shit, am I coming down with the flu or something?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But in the last 2 hours, man, it's like a total switch. Like, man, I feel good. I feel great. Like this whole energy just came up, and we're not even doing the Matrix show today. That's Friday.
I know. I feel fine. They got sick. I know 2 people. So like sick. What kind of sick? Tell me, what kind of sick are you? I need it from my nut. Everyone gets mad at me though. I don't get sick. I'm an RH negative. We're reptiles. We don't get sick. So I'm like, tell me what symptoms you have. Shit, that sounds like something I don't want to say.
Well, you know, some people are just luckier than others. I mean, there's no way around it. Some people are luckier than others. Some people get more sick. I remember I used to get sick on a normal basis, like a normal sickness.
Yeah.
Now, this might piss off a lot of people in the chat, but when I got that medical job from 5 years ago, they force you to oh my God, my good friend Jose Gomez, who I grew up with in Kerman, California. Love seeing him here. That's fantastic. But we had to get booster shots and all this, and I'm not here saying shots are magical and all that, but ever since I worked at a medical place, I have been less sick more than ever. And part of the reason too is I think maybe it's from the shots, maybe it's not. But when you're surrounded with stuff that can get you sick and stuff, and maybe you're not getting the full dose of it, but your body starts to develop immunes.
Yeah, it gets immunities to it.
It gets immunities to it. So going to hospitals and all that for the last 5 years, maybe the body like built up immunities. And it's part of the reason why I get sick less. I mean, I'm guessing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah. Well, I worked with the public in a museum 7. It was like every day was packed with people. I was interacting with people constantly. And so if they got sick, I got a little something. I never really get sick, but I get a little something. And
right. You worked at a museum, so there's tons of people. There's tons of people touching things
all over the world,
everywhere.
Man. All over the world, they were there. I got everything from everybody from everywhere, plus the Navy, and then of course all the museums I worked at. It's just like, fuck it, I don't get sick no more. No more for me.
Yeah,
no more.
Now, for a lot of people, usually we do the show Pacific time at 11. Today's at 1 because I had to do some family things, and Friday's also going to be at 1 also because I got some family things I got to do in the first half. My poor kid's getting her teeth pulled out tomorrow, so it's fun times, right?
Damn.
Yeah. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, they're getting the teeth pulled out. So it's like for a kid, I got to wake you up earlier. And yeah, you don't have to do online schooling first thing in the morning, but you're going to get your teeth pulled out.
Wisdom teeth, right?
No. Okay, hold on. Let me repeat that. Oliver is just getting his fillings fixed. Okay. Violet, like myself, has to get some teeth pulled out to make room for braces and stuff for the other teeth, because it's sometimes some people's might have too much teeth. Like I had to get like 4 or 5 teeth pulled when I got braces. So she has to get some teeth actually pulled.
Wow.
Remember, she had braces on, but they actually had to take the braces off a couple weeks ago to start removing the teeth and then re-put back on the braces.
That's a lot of teeth work, man. That's
I know. It looks like we got some people that Roxanne Velasquez, welcome. Alice Shelley Morrison Talley. This is Shelley that used to watch before, but she's got a different look, different name. Name. And of course, I said that our good friend from Kerman, California. I don't think he lives in Kerman now, but
I doubt it.
And Joey's been enjoying himself in Washington D.C.
He's famous now.
He's part of that. He's part of that. Oh yeah. And let me.
He's famous now.
Let me find it for a second. I got to put this in the chat. Hold on a second. Let me find this.
I know Joey, and I know Joey took it with a grain of salt and laughed his ass off. He's that cool with it. He don't mind. I watched it and I go, okay. I know he's taking this with just a smile. I know Joey. He's thick skinned. He ain't gonna fucking.
Now, what Bob's talking about is Joey Roca has a theory on volcanoes. Okay, it's his theories. It's what he believes in. And there's a channel that actually a channel they're called Sing Dan. They have over 404 subscribers, 404,000 subscribers, and they just put out a video mocking Joey's belief on
bad press is good press
on volcanoes. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, right? The reason I'm bringing this up, like you said, yeah, bad publicity is good publicity, but listen. You got a channel that has 404,000 subscribers, right? It just tells you that everybody looks. Your channel doesn't even have to have 1,000 subscribers because Joey's like us. There's Joey. Joey's like us, right? We don't have huge channels, right? We don't. But these huge channels they took clips from Joey on a channel that has 404 subscribers. And guys, if you want to check out that video, and I'm not here to make fun of Joey. I am not. But but it's funny that a huge channel is using stuff from Joey about volcanoes. And it's just like they're looking, man. Big channels, they're there, Bob. You said it yourself that even though you might not have a big following or not, but people are listening on what you're saying.
Yeah, bad press is good press, man. I always tell Eric that. Oh, Eric, there's someone making fun of the channel, Gypsy Road again. We're getting made fun of. Bad press is good press. Yes. Yeah, it's awesome. That's the neck of Hollywood. Bad press is good press.
All right, here's the first guy taking shots. I knew we were going to be taking shots because the title of the show is about shells. The first shot is shells were done at and put out disinformation videos of girls standing behind them, but calling apparitions and ghosts. Don't worry, you guys are fine. I love it. Oh, here it is. Joey wrote, Skimmy Dan and many others have made a piece on me, and I love it. Listen, we've this channel here, right? We had people make pieces on us. So guys, today
that's fine.
We're talking about what does it mean to be called a shell, and who are the shells from Hollywood? Because the reason I want to bring up this subject is I've always heard from the moment that I really started to study people on YouTube or social networking, social media. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, and the word shell always comes out. This person's a shell. This person's a shell. This is a shell. Everybody in Hollywood's a shell. And I wanted to do a show of
Shills.
What's a shell? I mean, what's a shell, and how do we know who's a shell and who's not? And this is where we're gonna try to discover, what the hell's a shell, right? I mean, what's a shell? So Bob, I asked people to send me an email, and I got an email list of names of people who they think are shells, and I put in the I made a comment for the community bar. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it for a second. Is this it?
Seashells by the seashore.
Okay, here we go. So I asked, I put you can only do 5 lines. Okay, I can't put like 20 people's names here. I told people I put 5 names, and you can write in whoever you think is a shell. Okay, and we'll talk about these people. So what I got so far on this, if you look at it, and people, you still have time to vote on this if you want. You don't have to vote. You don't have to do anything. But let me put in the chat if you want to vote. Here we are.
We need it.
Oh, our good friend Red Pill Paul's here. Our good friend Fizzy Pop. I want her on the show, man. She's great. I love her voice. I want Fizzy Pop on the show because I love her voice. You know, she has that voice.
I think she's Japanese.
You know?
Moshi.
I love that voice. But okay, here we go. So far there's only been 30 votes. No big deal, right? And then there's been 31 votes. So in the 5 that I put is not the final, but so far I had David Icke in here, Tom Hanks, because I hear Tom Hanks' name the most out of anybody calling somebody a shell. Tom DeLonge, Joe Rogan, Stephen Greer. Okay. Now, right now, Tom Hanks is leading the pack. He's at 39%, which I can see that because Tom Hanks' names always come up. And we're going to dive into Bob, because I did a podcast on this yesterday about my feelings on it. But I want to dive into the moment. We're going to look at his movies, Bob. We're going to look at the list of his movies. What was the moment where somebody said, you know what? That Tom Hanks, that guy's a shell. And I want to figure out what was it that and I'm not here to say he's not or who he is, but I want to find out, Bob, from people from the chat, what was it that turned Tom Hanks into a shell? And that's, I'm so curious. Now, here's some people from the chat. Okay, now PD R4 says toss up between you two clowns and Joey Roca. So on my list, you and I will be on that list, and Joey Roca will also be on that list.
Absolutely.
Creation Bear said it's spelled Toe Rogan. Okay, so Toe Rogan, same thing. I definitely say Tom Hanks, but tied for first is Neil deGrasse Tyson. So we're going to look up that too. We're going to look up Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, Tyson.
Now, Robert Alley nominated himself. So
also Dr. Bukaki.
So Robert Alley is going to be on the list of being a shell.
Yeah.
Robert Wood is nominated twice on this thing to be a shell. So Bob, you yourself is on this list as a shell. And I never thought about this one, but I can see his point of view. Austin wrote George Bush. I think he's talking about the son, probably not the father.
Junior. Yeah.
And then Roy Acers wrote Brian Staveley. That's fair. It's all fair game. So
mine's on there twice.
So Brian Staveley, George Bush, Robert Wood, Robert Alley, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Joe Rogan, Joey Roca, myself, and you are all shells. And we're going to find out what makes us a shell. Fiddy Pop wrote Alice Shelley.
I have no idea what that means.
Alice,
is that your sister?
What is this?
Is she Japanese?
I love you guys to put this out. You can get my number from Eric and Huge Host watching. They're unable to log in. Wow, things I found out. Oh, okay. Somebody just wrote, want to get in touch because I love you guys to put this out. You can get my number from Known. Been watching, unable to log in. Okay, that's fair.
Oh, sucks.
So, hey, like I said, I'm not going to shy away if somebody says that we're shell. Okay, let's find out why we're shells. Maybe
I'm on top of the list.
Why we're shells. Ben N wrote Warrior Nun Shell. Peace Gypsy wrote in chat. Okay, so now let's look at this. Okay, Hollywood. Now Hollywood is known for the bigger picture of a shell. But before we get to Hollywood here, let's remove this. And I found some definitions, Bob. I found 4 different definitions on what does what does a shell mean. Yeah. So let me pull these up. And
I never knew what a shill was until after 2016. I'm like, I've never heard of a shill.
Here we go.
What the fuck is that? What the hell is a shell?
Well, here we go. Shell. A conspiracy terms. A shell is a person who is pretending to agree with the conspiracy and intentionally circulates false information or acts totally insane in an effort to discredit said conspiracy. Shells are often thought to be hired by the government, but don't necessarily have to be. So
me.
One definition of a shell is
that's me.
Somebody giving false information.
Totally false.
They might be hired by the government, or they might not be hired by the government.
Disability.
Okay, so that's one of them. Now here's another shell. Here's another shell. A person engaged in covert advertising. The shell attempts to spread buzz by personally endorsing the product in public forums with the pretense of sincerity, when in fact he's being paid for his services. So basically, the guy doesn't believe in the product, but he's getting paid to sell it. So he's pretending to like a product just for money.
Yes.
Okay.
Coffee cups, T-shirts.
Okay.
Hats.
So that's another shell.
Everything.
I got two more shells here. Another shell. A person who lies in effort to deceive. A person who can walk showing up to a healer or snake oil salesman in a wheelchair or rolling knee board on the ground, then pretending to be healed and walk off is a shell. So a person who is engaged in control opposition, who's pretending to represent their opposite to damage the reputation of their or opponent, is a shell. So basically, Bob, if I say I broke my leg and you had this magic snake oil, which again, look, the word snake is back. You put snake oil on my broken leg and somehow you magically heal me. Well, if you do that, we're both shells.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the final one. Now, final one. A word used by conspiracy theorists when they are losing an argument. The word originally referred to an accomplice of traveling salesmen selling quack remedies or similar items of double value. The conspiracy theorists cause their opponent a shell in an attempt to discredit them by implying that they are paid agents working for the government. The Bybers, the reptilians overlords, the Rothschilds, because of course only such could possibly disagree with them. Now I'm going to tell you my opinion. That last one,
reptilians.
That last one, really shot. That really brought it home. Okay. What is it? Everyone is Mandela affected. Laugh out loud. What does he say? A shell of a man.
Shell of a man.
What is this? Hi, Gypsy shells. Okay, now that really does bring it home, because if people are losing a fight or they're losing a debate or something, okay, kind of like if somebody pretends they know about something, like we've seen it personally, we've seen it on this channel before, like for example, somebody says they know everything about Bible changes, right? And you ask, or they know everything about changes going on around the world, and you ask them to try to give you an answer, like what are these changes, and they keep using the same word, God or Jesus. It's God's plan for all of it. To me, that's a shell. That could be considered a shell, because he's never answering the question directly. He doesn't know the answer. Instead of telling the truth, he'd rather say it's God and Jesus to save face, but behind the scene, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Now I'm going to give you an example here. Yesterday, Bob, somebody sent me a video on R2D2.
Yeah.
Just asking me my opinion about a certain change on R2D2. And I'm gonna make the screen bigger for a second.
Yeah.
I watched this video. Now they're saying in this video that this right here just appeared on their toy and in the movies, and that symbol right here just appeared. Right, this was a video that was sent to me. They were asking my opinion. Is this a Mandela effect for you? Now I could play the game and say, yes, it is. That's never been there before. But if I did that, I would be lying, because they asked me because they know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, because they know that I have the original Star Wars VHS movies.
Yeah,
I got the toy. And those markings for me has always been there. Now,
okay, cool. Yeah.
Now, doesn't mean you said it yourself, all because it's there for me. It doesn't mean it wasn't there for you. So you might have not seen it and it appeared for you because you said it yourself.
Yeah.
You said it yourself that a Mandela effect is not a magical power where it all happens at once. People experience it throughout their lives at different times.
Individually.
Yeah. But some of these channels, they say if you don't believe in it, if you don't agree with it, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But then on the other end, they'll say it comes in different years for a person. So if that's the case, then you can't give anybody a bad time.
No.
On if it's not. This is not a Mandela effect change for me. All these markings that are on there has always been on there because I always remember, like, I remember making fun of this one here in the front because I'm always thinking that is that his pee-pee hole? Is that where he squirts out his oil? I mean it is. But
somebody has to do that.
Be a shell and say, my God, that is brand new. I can't do that.
Yeah, somebody asked me, without giving me any. I'm like, you know what? Number one, I'm not calling you a nerd, but I ain't a fucking Star Wars nerd, so I don't fucking know. I know science and all that weird shit. But I looked at it and I said, well, from what my eyes are telling me, my one eye, good eye, I said the blue's changed. That's all I could say. 100 for me, the blue has changed. And I go, that blue color is completely different than what I remember. The blue, that's just me, and I'm probably wrong. 99.9%. That's all I saw. I go, yeah, that blue is different. That's like a weird ass blue. That blue was not that blue. It wasn't that kind of like a blue-eyed blue. It was like that's a kind of a hint of fluorescent to the blue there. I said that's probably a product thing. And then they showed me the clip, and I said, yeah, that blue on the fucking. That's all I know. You can't. I don't know like you, dude. You know the parts and the pieces and the legs and the freaking wheels, and I don't know that shit.
Yeah,
the color.
What? And like I said, and it doesn't mean it wasn't there for you because maybe it wasn't. It's
yeah.
It is weird.
That's now, that one. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I actually yesterday I watched Joey Roca yesterday. Actually, he's in Washington D.C.
Oh, he's in D.C.
Yeah, he's in D.C. doing the Man March for Trump. That's his. Now. Oh yeah, Joey Roca. Joey, outside of Washington D.C. Joey, if you're listening to this, Bob and I used to live in a town called Frederick, Maryland. Frederick, Maryland is about 30 minutes away from Washington D.C. So what I'm telling you, Joe, is don't go in this town. It's a piece of shit town. I hated the town. I actually hated the whole. I didn't like the state of Maryland. It wasn't for me. I love the people. I love some of the people there, but I didn't like Maryland. But Joey, do not go into the town called Frederick. Okay, Joey was on a channel with System Failure. They were doing a second part of their debate where System Failure is a total believer in the Mandela effect. And Joey is trying to debunk the Mandela effect. Yeah. And which is fine. I mean, if you're afraid of debunking, then you shouldn't really even be in the communities. You have to be willing to listen to all sides. Now, I'm going to say this. They actually had a good debate. It was fun. It was great. Yeah. But the people in the chat were like going after Joey, and some are going after System Failure, where it's like, guys, they're having a fun debate. There's no
both good guys.
If you don't think Joey's is not affected or not, that's a good opinion. But the people in the chat were actually the ones that were that weren't, and some of the people in the chat used to say that Mandela effect changes come through different times of years, right?
Oh yeah.
But if it's true, then how can you call somebody out even in the first place? It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. I'm just saying it's wrong. And there was one pet peeve that I had about what one person did do.
What?
And I'm not gonna say his name. One person say, "Well, look at my channel. I have 40K versus yours." Now, You should never, ever brag about my channel is better than yours because I have more people. Now, if you hit 40, you hit 30, you hit 10, you want to do a show to celebrate that you hit a new number, that's fine. That's fine. But you don't go to other people's channels when two people are doing a good debate and try to overpower and say, I have 40K, you don't. Because, listen, look at all your politicians. Nice. Look at the government. Look at all these politicians that people hate. Okay? People hate these politicians, right? Why? They got more votes. That's why they're politicians. You know why? Because they're good bullshitters. All because somebody has, like the people who are busting Joey's balls that has 404K. It doesn't mean they're correct in their beliefs just because they have over 400,000 subscribers. You should never use your subscriber numbers to say I'm better than you. I have people come on my show that only has 5 subscribers, 10 subscribers, 200. It doesn't matter. If you got something to say, I want to hear it. Yeah. You do not. You should. Once you do that, you're a bully.
Yeah,
that's a bully. That really is. I'm serious. I'm not trying to put somebody down, but that's a fucking bully when you're trying to say my channel's better and more truthful because I have more people watching. No, it could just mean that you're a better bullshitter than most people. if you and I,
pretty your graphics.
If you and I, did a show, an individual show on this about that markings, right?
Yeah.
We start with 0 people watching. You would automatically get more people because you speak better. You do. I know that. I speak less. But it doesn't mean you're more correct than I am.
No, I'm actually stupid. I'm actually really stupid. I make myself sound smart. That's all I do. I use big words. I find them in a dictionary, in a thesaurus, and I use them to sound smart.
Yeah. And like I said, people want to take shots. I think he's taking shots. 10K subs and only 26 watching. Yeah, so what? But these people that are watching, I know that are more open-minded than some of these channels that might have 200, 300 people watching. Because remember, people are easily brainwashed. They're so easy brainwashed. If one of these guys say, "Come up and lick my asshole," they will, because they can't do it for themselves.
Ew.
You know, and so when hold on. The reason I love this channel is the truth that is lining of the silver tongues is amazing to watch. Now, I'm just saying, guys, listen, you don't have to have huge numbers to mean you're 100% correct. Everybody has a voice, and if you got something to say, I am willing to hear it. No, I got here's one of my good friends, Anthony Michaels here, Zach McSlappin, great bass player. I love watching his stuff on Instagram. Yeah, he does great bass sounds, which I told you yesterday, Bob, on Monday's show, that the bass does not get enough respect as it should. Yeah, it deserves more respect. Carl Taylor's here, so of course are good.
I like Dan for scare performance.
Okay,
now he's the only guy I know that remembers the 747 going into the Twin Apples. I'm like, anybody else? I remember the 747. Anybody? Nobody. Congratulations to scare performance, man. You're the only one besides myself that nobody remembers that. I'm like, all these truthers, not one of you are going to Dan's channel because that's fucking you. So I was like, it should be like a lot of people.
Yes. Let's get into some of these known people that are called shells. Okay, some of these known people. We're gonna start with
nobody.
We're gonna start with this name off the list, David Icke. Okay, David Icke is a name that people gave me a lot. Now, this is what it says here about David Icke. God. Just so we know, David Icke. David Icke is an English conspiracy theorist and a former football and sports broadcaster. Icke has written more than 20 books and has lectured in over 25 countries. Okay, now I'll be honest with you. I don't watch David Icke. I never read a book of David Icke. But one of the things that scares me about his background is that it seems like some of these people that come out of anywhere is from like sports, like full. What is he from? He's from. It says here,
soccer,
football, and he's a sports broadcaster. So what if I have to? Like I said, I don't watch a show. I can see people calling him a shell just because. First of all, he already has a following, right? He's got the football fans following. When he was a sportcaster, he has that following. So now you got this following. You want to grow your channel, right? Or your book sales.
Yeah.
Well, for that, I need another subject. Dude, you see this in YouTube all the time.
Well, this guy's a multimillionaire now, man. He makes money off this.
You see this all the time. Dude, I've seen some truthers who are faking Mandela effect to grow their own subs when they don't even believe in the Mandela effect. They're using it as a tool to grow their channel. So I can see where people say David Icke is a shell. Now, I'm going to ask you, Bob.
Yeah.
I don't know David Icke. You might know him better than I do. Yeah. Why is David Icke a shell?
Well, he's fake. Well, number one, he contradicts himself. I mean, he just tells everybody what they want to hear. He talked about the moon exploding at one time and putting back together. It's hollow. There's all kinds of the moon matrix bullshit. He talks about the royal families being reptilians. Okay, I get it. All right, that's the joke. We all have that same joke. Because of their Rh negative blood type. I'm an Rh fucking negative. Also, David Icke himself is an Rh negative blood type. So I'm like, how? Somebody even wanted to ask me, excuse me, dude. Now, if you're calling them reptiles and you yourself have that blood type, what's the difference between you and them? When I see him, he looks like a reptile with human skin walking around with a big old hunchback and a big ass pot belly. You look freaky, but
let me look at
the royals continuously, which is, again, people do, but this guy does it so vigorously. There's no way in hell. Now, I'm in England. This guy could be walking around without getting in trouble. He's doing it for them. He's misinformation. He's making millions. And they had a huge protest down in London just not too long ago. And they flew this cocksucker out to stand in front of the crowd and do, hey, put his hands up like, hooray. And I'm like, oh, this dude. They're putting him as the face of the conspiracy theorists. As you described in one of the things, he looks insane, sounds insane, like me. He looks insane, sounds insane, and they're trying to put him in front, like he represents. So when you look at conspiracy theories over here, you look at David Icke right off the bat. You're like, oh god damn. Number one, and also people have asked him, do you believe in the Mandela effect? He ignores the question. He has no fucking. I've seen him in Sagittarius Arm, and I've seen him here in Orion Spur, and he's the same fucking scumbag. He puts out a book after book after book. It's the same information. Now, I'm not just saying that. I read some of his shit, and it is bullshit. I mean, outside of just remembering something that was different, you're a normal human being that works at whatever you got to do. You're a construction guy. You work at a cubicle. I work at a museum. I remember certain things have changed. No big deal. I move on with my fucking life. This guy, oh, man. He's off the deep end with his stuff.
And, he
makes a lot of money, Eric.
Oh, no, he does. But, answering the Mandela question is not a hard question to answer. All you have to say is, I don't believe in the word, but I do believe there's something behind it that I need to research more. Yeah. I don't really have to say, I don't know too much about it. I got to look into it. I got to see what's all that deals with Mandela effect. That's all you really got to say.
Well, he's also another Jesus. You see, this is the back of his history. He actually believes that he is the reincarnation of Jesus. Now, he said it himself. I'm not just saying he said it on a talk show, and he said it to other people that he went to Africa, like South Africa. He went to Africa, and he was struck by lightning or something on a rock where he said he got a download. So he got the download. So he knows everything about everybody he knows the whole secret conspiracy. He knows the agenda that's going on 100%. And God has sent him, Eric, and he is the reincarnation of Jesus to let everybody know about what's going on with the agenda and the reptilian invasion. So I'm like, oh, another Jesus. Cool. A dime a dozen nowadays. So he's just another whack job. But then again, he's a millionaire. Would I drink a beer with David Icke? Hell yeah, I drink more than one. He'll be paying for it. I hate him.
Everybody's got a right to make a living.
He's making a living.
Okay? He just took his already fans from football and sportscaster, brung them over and bringing in some UFO people. You know, it is what it is. Now,
you got a mansion.
Here's another name that comes up that's been called a shell, and I'm going to say he's not a shell. And I'll give you a reason why. I'm talking about Tom DeLonge.
Ah,
okay, but hold on. I know a lot of people's like, Eric, what do you mean? He is a shell. Hold on. I'm going to tell you why he is not a shell. A shell is a person that covers up the truth for the governments and all that, right? You're getting paid by the government. Okay, that's one of the main shells, right?
Yeah.
You're getting paid by the government to say this. Tom DeLonge's company that does the UFO research is working for the government.
Yeah, he is.
There's no hiding. He's got fund. He's got funded by the government. So
he's funded by the government.
That his company works for the government. So under the rules of what a shell is, he can't be a shell because he's not hiding the fact that he is working for the government. Now, when Tom DeLonge, if he comes out and say something about UFOs, I'm turning that shit off. And the reason I'm turning that shit off, because if you know you're working for the government, that means your information is controlled by the government, right? He's controlled. He's allowed to say this. He's not allowed to say that because his contract, his company, he don't get all the millions. It's his organization. He's getting millions. All right.
So, he's getting a lot of money. Academy to the Stars. It's called Academy to the Stars, and it's a nonprofit. Now, I mean, he gets money from the government. They pay into the nonprofit, though. Let's make sure we say this right. So it's a nonprofit, and it's Academy to the Stars, and they do UFO research. Also, he works with the government to help to work with the divulging of information. So his job is to work with the people, like an intermediary between the public and the government, to divulge information in a way that you guys can understand. So he's the middle guy, and he gets lots of money for that. Also, remember, he was in Blank 181. Yeah. Blank 182. My bad. Blank 182. I love Blank 182. I love the band. It's a bubblegum punk band. I love them. And then he was in Angels and Airways. Now, I can't find anybody that has the Mandela effect memory of this fucking band. I didn't really hear of them either until much later, until like around 16, but I've heard some of the songs. So Angels and Airways, to me, switched to Angels and Airwaves with a V, which was weird. I watch his videos all the time, and to me, and I'm most likely wrong, but if you're a fan of Angels and Airwaves, he's one of my controls. These guys constantly having changes. I have to debunk them all the time. So he just made a video not too long ago. I watched it change. Now he's got pilot's wings on one of his shirts he's never had before. I'm like, oh.
So now Brian wrote sell out or shell, same. Now, like I said, he can't be a shell because he is known working for the government.
He is,
but would I listen to him? No.
I would. Only because he's in my control.
If you want to listen to him for entertainment, that's one thing. But if you're listening to him because you're thinking that he's going to give you the truth, no. Yeah. Because the government will let him know what he can say and what he can't say, or what he is allowed to leak.
Yeah. But he's a musician at heart. I liked his music young. I like his music now. I don't like his new stuff. It sucks, but like the newest stuff. But I was a fan. I still am. But yeah, he's a shill. 100% of the word.
I'm not gonna say just because somebody's was in music that automatically makes you a Hollywood shell. Because listen, music was a way out for him. A lot of us are poor in life, and music is the way out. And if he really loves it, then great. It's just. I'm not saying Tom DeLonge don't love UFOs, but his organization works for the government. So What he is saying is what is allowed for him to say. So that's why. That's why, like Bob, like you said, you could listen to him for entertainment purposes.
And I listen to him
for truth. So if he says there's ET walking around, the government is allowing him to say that for some reason. There's
they're telling him to say it. So he's actually again one of my number one controls. I listen to Tom DeLonge because it's coming straight from the tap. You know,
exactly.
Straight from the tap.
Bingo. He comes straight from the tap. That's
straight from
right
it.
on. Okay, so
like
now
if you're at a kegger, if you're at like a conspiracy kegger, well, homeboy is the fucking keg, man. I mean, he's just all right. Hey, play some good music on the side. So
this is another person that's on my list. His name is Alex Jones.
Oh, okay? God.
Alexander Emmerich Jones is an American far-right radio show host and a conspiracy theorist. New York Magazine has described Jones as an American leading conspiracy theorist and the Southern Poverty. Law Center describes him as the most prolific conspiracy theorist in contemporary America. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard of this guy before. Now, is he a shell? I'm gonna say this. I'll say it this way. If you believe, Bob, no matter what, if you believe Hollywood is all shells, then you have to call him a shell because radio is an extension of Hollywood. Now, when you think of Hollywood, everybody thinks about like studios just right there in Hollywood. Hollywood is just a description of movie making that happens all around the world. They make movies in Atlanta, Georgia. They make movies in London. So Hollywood is just the phrase for all Hollywood type, making movies. And radio is no different than Hollywood. Radio is an extension. Like, listen, I like Howard Stern, but Howard Stern works for Hollywood. He does. Radio works for Hollywood. Rush Limbaugh works for Hollywood. He's on the radio. Radio is part of Hollywood. So in that case, if you say that Hollywood is a shell, then you have to say Alex Jones is a shell. But Bob, I honestly don't know this fucking guy. What is he about even in the first place?
Everybody knows Alex Jones.
I really don't. I don't know.
He's the American version of David Icke. He's the American David Icke, but he's not into the fantasy section where you got reptiles and aliens. His more thing is into the deep underground, the secret societies and that's ruling the world. The Rothschilds, the Agenda 21, whatever the fuck agenda they keep talking about this comic book, but agenda this, agenda that. We're in full swing for this. I mean, the dude is just. He's entertaining as a motherfucker and addicting to watch and listen to because he's got all the conspiracy stuff going. I mean, anything with the deep state, Hillary, was it the pedophile rings, the Epsteins, all the fucking everybody. The dude is deep into it.
Austin wrote, I personally think Alex is and was invited to Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, I believe that.
That how he got that video of inside Bohemian Grove. Now, what's the story about Bohemian Grove for people?
Okay, so his claim to fame.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, his claim for fame was what Austin was talking about. The claim for fame was that he had snuck a camera into a place where they literally strip your ass fucking naked and even check your ass cavity to make sure you don't have no cameras on you at all. Nothing. You ain't getting in there. They've got special forces like a fucking motherfucker checking people. You're not getting in there with a camera. Homie got in there with a camera, secret camera, and filmed the Bohemian Grove, where you have the secret societies of all the rich cliques and whatever get together every year up in around San Francisco area, Bohemian Grove, and they have these secret agenda parties like for a week long straight. And he had snuck in there, Eric, and he had filmed it. He had filmed the slimy secret societies doing their doing their ritual. Like they have this big owl and they're doing the whole ritual. He filmed it all. And so he played it on his show, and everything ever since then, everybody was locked into Alex Jones. So that was to me was fake as shit.
Okay. No, that's great. I didn't know all that, and I'm glad that Austin brought that up and you explained it for people. So that's awesome. Well, let's get rid of Alex Jones. Let me check my list. When I did in this list that I got it for several people, and I just put what the name came up the most on this list. I'm sure there's 100 people that we can go through Shills, but we can't do that. Now, this next person is actually a woman. I'm surprised that nobody. You know what I'm surprised? Now, this person I'm going to be talking about is, where the fuck is she? Where does she go? Hold on. Oh, there she is. Her name is Linda Moulton Howe.
Oh, Linda Moulton Howe.
But before I talk about the Ho,
or Ho,
or how Ho, nobody brought up Fiona Broom. I'm shocked. Or Cynthia Sue Larson. Some of these people. I'm shocked that nobody brought these people up. But who cares? Yeah. But Fiona Broom should have been on the list. But maybe we'll talk about her last if we have time.
Yeah.
Okay. Linda Ho. This is what it says here. Linda Moulton Ho. Is it Ho or How?
How?
Okay, How. I'm calling her Ho. It sounds better. Is an American investigative journalist and regional Emmy award-winning documentary filmmaker, best known for her work as a ufologist and advocate of a variety of conspiracy theories, including the investigation of cattle and conclusion that they are performed by ETs. Now, I don't know if I've watched any of the I watch a lot of documentaries, but I don't know if any of these documentaries I watch is her movie that she made.
Well, she's in a new series. It was a spin-off of the History Channels, like that UFO, ancient UFOs or whatever ancient, whatever. But she was an investigative reporter that handles specifically UFOs, animal mutilations, all those conspiracy things. Now, I don't personally consider her a shill. I think she's being honest with her stuff. That she's just a reporter, but she's just hitting a nerve with a lot of people that makes money. So she's just gonna write books on it. She's doing another David Icke. A lot of people like it. She can present it well. She can write it well. People love her. All her stuff. She has cats. She's got her own show on YouTube. So I know a lot of people watch her, and she's also on Gaia, whatever. It's another show you have to pay for. That's like another UFO ancient astronaut channel bullshit thingy they have out there. But she's a big hit on it. And I don't see her she technically qualifies as a shill, but not like an Alex Jones, man. She's just writing stuff up. She gets the information, somebody puts it out there, she follows up with it, and she writes about it and talks about it.
Okay, so this is the main thing. Now, is she telling people what she thinks is facts, or she's just giving the opinion of her investigation?
She does the investigation, and then she supposedly mows it over, then gives her gut feeling on it, her opinion on it. Because she did a big thing on cattle mutilation, and then she actually did the work, talk to ranch people, work hands. So she's talking to the regular people.
Okay. Earlier in the chat, Suzanne wrote, "I missed the list, then the show list." Now I never told people who was on the list, so I wrote the list of emails that I got, and I put the 10 names together. So it's not like a list that I got from like Google. It was just a list of emails I asked people to send me on Monday. I put it together, and then we talk about some names that were on the community bar that I put up. So that's how I got these names, because one of these I'm totally curious about is when we get to Morgan Freeman, because I'm curious that Morgan Freeman, I never even thought about Morgan Freeman. And I didn't put Tom Hanks on this list. We are going to talk about Tom Hanks because Tom Hanks is known with all communities that he's a shell, and we talk about Tom Hanks. So that's the list. Yeah. But okay, so I'm going to take Linda off.
Okay.
And we're going to Oh, okay. Hold on. We already talked about. We already. I'm removing some tabs so I can get some other ones. Now I'm going to talk about this guy named. Let me find Stephen Greer.
Greer. Oh, good God!
Okay. Now, I actually talked about him pretty much. I talked about him a lot in my on my podcast yesterday.
Oh my God.
And guys, if you look at I pinned my podcast channel, and the reason I talked about him a little bit because when I read his thing, right, it says Stephen Macon Greer is an American ufologist and a retired traumatologist who founded the Center of Study of ET Intelligence and a disclosed project, which seeks to disclose over allegedly classified secret UFO information. Now,
right.
I talked about this. I talked about this on my podcast because when I read that he apparently has classified information, I fucking turned him off. That's dude. I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Anybody who claims that they have classified information,
you go to prison.
Are fucking nothing but shells. They're fake. Those are the people you need to kick the fuck out. And I'm going to tell you why. I have worked for the government, in the military, people, in the military. Bob has worked for the military. So technically, military is government. Nobody gets their hands on classified information. Nobody. If you do, you're going to be stopped. They're not going to let you do a show that claims to have classified information if they leak something out on purpose. Snowden, not even living in the fucking United States because he's probably killed and died already. I mean, listen, if the government wants to stop you, you're stopped. There is nothing you could do about it. So when people say they got classified information, you stop, you walk away. Don't even listen to that son of a bitch because I'm telling you, guys, we want to have classified information. We want secrets. You're not going to hear secrets on a 30-minute ancient alien show on Discovery Channel, on the Travel Channel. You're not. You're just not. Okay? Nope. You're not. So stop it in the dream world. If a truther comes out and say, I got classified information on, how about this example, that the earth is flat. I got this from the government. Hang up. Never listen to that guy again because it's nothing but bullshit. They know who you are. They know your name. And if you go on now, say somehow, Bob, I stole this classified information somehow. Right? Oh, yeah. As soon as I go on YouTube, on any social network, classified information here, 10 minutes later, dude, I'm gone. My channel's gone. Take it down. Strikes, gone. Boom. You're never going to see me again. Okay? So Bob, am I going too fucking crazy on this?
You've nailed him. Okay, when it comes down to here's the criteria. Number one, making money. Lots and lots of money. Homeboy makes fucking money. Homeboy makes money like a motherfucker. He's charging $3,000 to hang out with him, to go call in fucking UFOs. And then you don't always get those interdimensionals, he considers them to, all the time. So what he does is you're filming it, but then he sends you the film and you'll see spots where you could see a blurred image of this mysterious transparent object, obviously an interdimensional from another universe or world standing next to you. I'm like, no, man. No, either if he is calling in shit, he's not calling in anything good. He's calling in fucking what I call jinn, bad demons or whatever the fuck. If he's actually doing it, I doubt it. But he's charging a lot of money, and he's actually really moving around, making a huge movement, Eric, all around. It's Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, he's calling it. And he has a criteria and a class where you pay money to go sit with this cocksucker and in a desert somewhere, and they do these little camp outs with hot dogs and fucking marshmallows, and they call in fucking UFOs.
Yeah.
Now you really want to, I mean, those of you that are kind of like whatever, I don't know what camp you come from, go outside, just sit out there and fucking look up at those weird ass planes that kind of do the little lines in this. There you go. I mean,
you're right.
You don't need to pay $3,000 to see if you want to go see a UFO or unidentified object. I'm sure you can go see your own unidentified object in the sky for free. This clown claims to have classified information.
I agree. Listen, if you're watching the show, right, and something's covering the guy's face, and he's talking like, "Yes, I saw this firsthand. I saw this in the bunker on the 3rd Street floor." Listen, if your face is covered and you're hearing your voice, it's a fraud, dude. No. If you're a real person, you're gone. Listen, and when you film something, right, it takes a while to get it processed and get it ready for live, to get on television. These shows aren't live. So it's not like you're doing this live all of a sudden,
nothing's live.
All pre-recorded. It all gets designed.
All pre-recorded.
Showing their face and changing the voice. Dude, if he had some viable information, it will never get aired. Unless the government wants it to get leaked, like our friend Social Society, whatever he says, that sometimes they want certain things to get leaked.
Want things out.
So they get the truthers to go too crazy on it to make it look like they're insanity. That's the only way something is leaked.
Just go to the kegger, man. Go to the kegger. Go straight to Tom DeLonge, and you'll get it from the tap fresh. Whatever the lie is, you'll get it straight from him, and you don't need to worry about fucking paying $3,000 for Richard Greer, whatever his name is, Stephen Greer. Oh no, man, it's a fraud, guys. He's a fraud.
Yeah,
I mean, don't do it.
And you're definitely gonna hear classified information on YouTube.
He's gonna tell you classified information. Sit his ass in prison.
Dude, did you hear this? I got this information from YouTube. Okay, cuckoo.
And his face, man. Now I'm not gonna sit here and judge people, but I am.
Morty 5, bro. If there was a case to be made for reptilians, Greer would be the poster boy.
The poster boy. Right?
Oh, God. Okay. Now,
if you look at his face, his pitted up, weird ass face. I'm just saying a hypothetical in a comic book. So what I'm saying is not true. This is just for fun. I joke about if there were reptiles, Greer would be one of them with his weird ass skin face, and David Icke would be another one because if you look at his face, he's got the same weird skin face, face.
I'm comfortable saying that he is 100% Shill. Here's the next person. So this one's interesting.
We'll be sued for this.
Okay, we're talking about Joe Rogan. Now,
I like Joe Rogan.
Now this one's interesting because listen. I'm going to be flat out honest with people. I have actually never, ever listened to a Joe Rogan's podcast. I haven't. I haven't. So now I know the name Joe Rogan because, of course, you hear that he made that $1 million deal with Spotify, that you can only hear his podcast now that was on Spotify. Yeah. Now, what it says about him is Joseph James Rogan is an American comedian, podcast host, and mixed martial arts and a color commentator. He also worked as a television host and an actor. Rogan began his career in comedy in August 1988 in the Boston area. Now, I don't have enough knowledge of Joe Rogan to claim him as a Shill because I never watched his stuff. I never listened to it.
Yeah.
Now, but what I've heard from people, from the chats, from the people that we talk to on YouTube, that sometimes that certain subjects they want to bring up with Joe, he won't bring them up.
Yeah,
he won't talk about certain things. Now, the question is, if he's really is open to have conversations about the unknown, why will he talk about this? But he won't talk about this. Is it the lack of knowledge, or I mean, I don't watch him, Bob. So.
Oh, I like Joe Rogan.
So you watch him, you listen to him.
Yeah.
What does that mean when people are saying that he will talk about this, but he won't talk about this? What is that about? I don't know.
He's a showman. That's it. I mean, he's an entertainer. He came in as an entertainer. There's no lies about it. He was a comedian, an entertainer. He was on shows as an entertainer.
Rogan fake moon landing. Why is Rogan for the moon landing, or does Joe Rogan support that the moon landing's fake?
Well, what he flip flop? He's talking about being flip flop. So he brings people on to debunk it, to say there was no moon landing, and then he'll switch over and say there was a. He's an That's why I say, I'm going back to what I said. He's an entertainer. He's making a living.
You know what you get from him. He's gonna.
You're not looking at a truther. You're not looking at a conspiracy theorist. You're looking at an entertainer who's getting paid to entertain only. That's it. So people go to him like, I want to go listen to him for the truth. No, you're not gonna. You're gonna get entertained. Yeah, that you're gonna get questions that are gonna be easy. He's not gonna talk about anything that's gonna get his show taken down or striked, or he's gonna get any bad marks on anybody. You don't want to get sued by nobody. He's got lawyers. He's got producers.
So he's the guy. So he's the guy that wants to be liked by everybody. So anybody he comes on, he kind of molds to their way of thinking in a way.
He'll do whatever. Yeah, entertainment.
Everybody off. Okay.
But he smokes weed. He smokes weed like during the shows. So
I heard that Joe Rogan is a woman.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows now? Was it Michelle Obama, Michael Obama? We don't know what he is. But yeah, he's like I said, he smokes weed. That's his little gimmick. He drinks alcohol. What he'll do is he'll get his part of his thing is, I like it, is that he gets his people that he interviews a little bit tipsy to ask them questions and see if they'll confess to certain questions. So that's kind of cool. He gets them, like he got Elon Musk. He got him to smoke weed. In fact, he got him to smoke marijuana during an interview, and then all of a sudden, Elon Musk lost a lot of his shares. People were jumping off the out of his business. They were like, I think he even got not fired, but Elon Musk was moved over to like an advisor for Tesla cars now. He's because he smoked weed. So give him a little bit of credit. He's an entertainer, and so he got old Elon in trouble. And he was asking him some questions. He didn't ask, like Eric. Everyone says he don't ask the real questions. He'll ask the questions that you are willing to answer without making you overly uncomfortable.
So it's basically like sometimes when people interview like a president that they like, they won't ask certain kind of questions. You know,
they won't ask all the
questions. Or because I heard this that when people interview some actors, they actually have any questions that they ask has to be pre-approved by the person before you ask these questions.
Same thing.
They don't want any surprises.
Same thing. Now he'll ask them in a way where he's going around it, but not 100%.
Does this? Hey peeps, Elon's shares came back even better the day after that. Look it up.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Elon is a fraud to me, like a motherfucker. There is no car in space. We've debunked that with just basic knowing the heat temperatures for certain parts of his car. But anyway, a different story. But yeah, he got him to smoke weed, and Elon did smoke weed. He played ball. He smoked the fucking joint. He's sitting there talking, stuttering, can't remember what he was saying. I love the show. Well, so
let's take out this guy right here. This guy is called Zahi Hawass.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Zahi Hawass is an Egyptian archaeologist, Egyptologist, and a former minister of state of Antiquities Affairs. He also worked at an archaeologist site in the Nile Delta, the Western Desert, and Upper Nile Valley. I don't know anything about this guy. So what is this guy? Why is he a shell?
No, I went to University of Washington for archaeology. Guys, I went to school for archaeology. I did archaeology digs. I did the whole fucking thing. Eric knows it. I went on fucking field schools, everything. I did the whole thing. He basically runs Egypt. Okay, so this guy runs Egypt. So when you had an American archaeologist or anybody from any European country show up to Egypt to do any actual real digs, to find actual real information, this guy is works for the state. He is appointed by the state of Egypt, or the country of Egypt, and he will lock your shit down. Any information you pull out of there, he gets it first, and it's filtered. So this guy is, in every definition, a shill. So a lot of you people out there going, oh, a lot of you truthers, like, I want to know what's below this Sphinx. Well, they actually had, in my time, I remember, they had some Swedish archaeologists go out there, and they did a radar ping, and they said, oh, we found a room down there, a hidden room. No, man, you're not digging under the Sphinx. He says, no, shut it down. He shuts down if you find a cave, he's the first one on it. If you find anything, he's the first one on it. Filters information. They even had, Eric, information. They did genetic tests, again, back up in Sweden, in certain areas, a non-biased place, I guess, I don't know, where they found out that a lot of the pharaohs were, in fact, Caucasoids. They were white people. They were not black. They were white, fair-haired, red-haired. They didn't have henna in their hair. They didn't investigate. They had actual red hair, for real red. They were gingers, the pharaohs. This information was blocked by old Swahili.
His page channel from Google, I went here, it says this page does not exist anymore.
Does it exist? In case
Sorry, this page doesn't exist. That's what it says. I'm not making that up. It says right there.
Yeah, he is again, I learned about him in archaeology. I learned about him at the university. I did the classes on Egypt, and this guy is Mr. Misinformation. Just not let any information get out, blocks information. So if you guys are having any difficulties knowing what's actually going on in Egypt, this is the guy who stops it.
Oh, well, I got good news for people. Whoever subscribed to Smithsonian magazine, it says you get a free bag. The rise and fall and rise of Zahi. So I guess he had a rise, he had a fall, and I guess he had to rise again.
Well, if you guys are big proponents of the apocalypse that you're living in, where the truth is coming out for everybody that's shady, it's coming out now. This dude.
I've seen his documentaries. Yeah. Okay, I know who this guy is.
He's on the History Channel all the time.
Yes, he is.
That slime ball who blocks all the information coming out of Egypt actually got busted, dude, for actually hoarding artifacts and secretly selling them in the black market. He was on the take. The dude was shady. So they fired his ass. But he's still there. He's like an advisor. He's still there, but he is the Egyptian shill ever, the biggest shill of Egypt ever. He's got hundreds of shows on History Channel. If you come in there with a different theory, even if you're like a weird, whatever your thing is, aliens did it. If you go in there and if you say aliens are doing it, and you're going to go there to prove aliens did it, this guy's going to show up. He's going to have tools in his hands. He's going to show you how these people use tools to make it. Block you. He's going to block you every time. So that's that guy. Okay. So you guys know, everyone out there just knows who that guy is.
So who's this David Hancock?
David Hancock. He's another one on Gaia. He's another ufologist. Ufologist. Yeah. Somebody put his name in there. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. He's another ufologist. History Channel. And he left the show Gaia, whatever. He left that show because he didn't want to.
Ancient Aliens Underwater World Tour. So he's been on the show Ancient Aliens.
Ancient Aliens. He was on the History Channel Ancient Aliens for a long time. Yeah. There's a whole group of them guys that were on there. He's another one. Some people say that he's not a shill.
So he wrote a book called Ancient Aliens, Lost Civilization, Astronomy, Archaeology, and Hidden History.
Some people say he's not a shill. Some people say, nah, he's just like Tom DeLonge or, the rest of them. And, he works with the government to release little bits of information just for entertainment. I think he's not necessarily a shill. However, he's a shill in the definition that he does it strictly for money. Entertainment only. Just another ufologist for entertainment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, another entertainment guy. Yeah, I mean, no beef with the guy, just entertainer. Just another, Joe Rogan, but with ufology, Joe Rogan.
What about this guy?
Everybody knows this
guy. Giorgio is a Swiss-born writer, ufologist, television presenter, and producer. He is a proponent of the whatever it is, theory, and ancient aliens, astronauts interacted with ancient humans. He is known for his appearance on the television series Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, I believe that he believes what he is saying. And again, who's to say he's wrong? Now, I don't call this man a shill because he's passionate. He's just making money off of it. Just ancient aliens, another entertainer. Again, no government shill there. I don't think he's a shill. I just think he's an entertainer. Just entertaining. He's on Ancient Aliens. He's on History Channel or whatever channel they have Ancient Aliens now. So another entertainer, a goofy guy, man. Just a goofy fucker. I can't take him seriously. Actual real scientists I want to believe you, man. But you look like a goofball. Can you just chill down a little? Can you throttle it down a little bit, you fucking goofy bastard? Yeah. Oh, well. But, yeah, Eric, that's all I can say about him. I mean, it's pretty cut and straightforward. Another entertainer. We're kind of moving into the Tom Hanks-ish or Joe Rogan-ish.
Actually, I'm pulling up Tom Hanks. Actually, next, I want to find out about when was the turn for Tom Hanks. Now, first of all, let's say now, why do people think Hollywood is a shell? Well, I think part of the reason is people call Hollywood a shell is mostly because a lot of the decisions are made by people in suits. Okay, so example, like if a studio wants, if they want to influence people to think a certain way, a Democratic way or a Republican way, they got the money to make a movie to show their influence that they want. Now a directors, producers, they're not necessarily shell themselves, but you got to understand that if a studio wants a certain movie made and want to influence a group to think the way they want you to think.
Yeah.
And if you have a director who doesn't want to do it, all they're going to do is, well, would you do it for $5 million?
Yeah.
You do this movie for us, and we'll allow you to make any movie you want after this. So in that case, they're like another government in a way. Because I always say there's three governments in America. People ask, what do you mean by three governments? You got a Democratic government, you got a Republican government, and you have Hollywood is a government, because each party can influence people to think the way they're thinking. Republicans, you can say they're brainwashing people. You can say Democrats are brainwashing people, and Hollywood do it through their movies because they got the money to influence the people the way you want them to do it. Now, does that mean every actor is a shell? Some actors are just doing it for money. I mean, you want me to play, say I'm not religious, but you're going to pay me $1 million to act like I'm Moses. Okay, I'll play Moses in your movie. It doesn't really mean that I believe that Moses is real. You're paying me money to be in Moses. Okay, so now let's go to Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is hired for a lot of movies. Now, Tom Hanks, for one thing, looks like a guy who could be your grandpa, your uncle, like the perfect person, that perfect father that you always wanted. Yeah. That's the look of Tom Hanks. Okay. Now, I'm looking. I'm going to share the screen of IMDb of the movies that he's made because I want to see when was it that when people started to come out and say, "Hey, this guy is a shell." Okay. Now, if you go back to this TV show, Buzz and Buddies, I look at Buzz and Buddies as he's helping transgenders to be more out in the open in a way.
Yeah.
I can't say Buzz and Buddies was it. Now, I'm not going to go to every single small movie that he's done. Okay. Now, Splash. I like Splash. It was different. It was good. It was decent way of looking at what a mermaid would be in real life, right? Bachelor Party. I'm sorry. I like Bachelor Party. As growing up, I thought Bachelor Party was awesome. Okay. The Man with One Red Shoe. That's a decent movie. Volunteers. He played a rich prick that went to an island because he owed people money, which was a fine movie. The Money Pit. They bought a house that was a piece of shit. It was too good to be true, which it was. Yeah. So I'm trying to find the movie, Bob. When I go up this list, if you say, Eric, that's the movie where it started, where he started to become a shell, just let me know.
It's not that he's a shill. All the movies you've named off of, if you got to know, number one, Eric, you got to be in the conspiracy circles. You got to be within the thinking of, okay, I see what he did here. There's a big movement where, there was a big conspiracy. I'm using the word, guys. It means it could be. There's a transgender movement. Well, there's Tom Hanks with the first transgender TV show that got kids comfortable being transgender. There's the one with Melusina. Melusina is what on Starbucks you have the gal with the two legs. The Melusina is supposed to be the dragon, the mother, the whatever of all the elites, whatever. Well, he was in a movie with the mermaid. So again, these are conspiracy people that had put together the whole thing. I know all of the things they've talked about, right down to one red shoe. There's a symbolism with one red shoe. It's something about there's a whole, so you got to know the conspiracies for each one of them. So all the movies he's in, there is its own individual conspiracy for, and they're saying that he's in a movie that has the symbolisms. Even the one red shoe there's a symbolism for that one, and that one's for pedophilia. There's another one for this one, and there's another. So all the shows that he's in is showing symbols for what a conspiracy theorist considers. Hey, this is a show about this and this and this on the down low. This is a show about this and this on the down low. So he just happens to take the parts for each one of those. Now, maybe it's not him. Also, just to throw this out there, he's got the most out of all the movies that I've seen. This is just me. The Mandela effect changes. Again, that's a whole separate fucking thing. That's if you're into that. I see myself continuity errors that have changed in all his movies. I don't know where they come from. I don't want to discuss that. But yeah, he's consistent with that. So that's Eric. That's why he's considered a shill.
See what you just said there. Now, I thought about that because I know in the Mandela effect community, he has movies like Forrest Gump that's supposed to have changes, major changes in it. Yeah. And he has, I'm trying to think of other big movies that for Mandela effect stuff.
Yeah, there's one of them, I think it's Dragnet.
Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, so in Dragnet, there was a whole episode where he's running around with a goat with the bottom half. He's wearing half of a goat costume, so he looks like Pan. He literally, symbolically, according to conspiracy theorists, he looks like Pan running around, and so he's fighting the bad guys dressed as like Pan with the goat legs, and he's got a virgin. So all of the elements of a conspiracy is in each of the shows that people are pointing out. Oh, look, he's dressed as Pan. Oh no, he's dressed as transgender. Oh no, Melusina, the mother of all the, so he's in all those shows, right? I mean, it's just
But now, I guess I heard the Mandela effect changes for Apollo 13 and stuff 13. Like that. Now, if you're in a Mandela effect community, right?
Yeah,
and I'm talking about Mandela effect community, not the truthers in it. Take the truth part out.
Different.
If you're just in the Mandela effect community and you love researching the Mandela effect, wouldn't you think, in theory, you would like Tom Hanks? You want his movies to come out because you're seeing a lot of Mandela effects in his stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's
want to watch him.
That's why I do. I watch him because I want to see if there is in fact evidence to prove. I'm trying to debunk it. If there's evidence to prove it, and I'm gonna say this, only my opinion as an anthropologist, amateur at that yeah, it does make me scratch my head about him running around with like the pan look. Yeah, the one red shoe. Yeah, the Melusina thing. I see it. I can see where they're coming from with the argument. There you go. As a non-biased, chaotic, neutral person. But yeah, Eric, now all these shows he has, I can see where they're coming from with this stuff. Now, again, it might not be him. It's obviously the director. So it's the directors and producers that are putting it out. He's just the actor.
Now, I'm not.
Yeah.
I am not a flat earther. Okay, yeah. I believe the earth is round. But I know that flat earthers don't like him because he made the movie Apollo 13, and also he made that movie Joey versus the Volcano, which they don't think volcanoes are real. And I'm not here debating about flat earth or round earth. I think the earth is round, but big deal. But does he deserve hate just because he was in the movie Apollo 13 and Joe versus the Volcano? Does that deserve? He's getting paid to do an acting job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, he's a good control. A lot of Toms. I'm not sure. There's a lot of Toms that have these weird continuity errors in their show. Tom Cruise is another one. Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks. It's just consistently with this. But I can see where a lot of truthers will call him a shill. And yes, he is a Freemason. He is in the Freemasonry, and he's high ranking. So it adds to it again. So it's easy to put him into that camp. I could see it. I know why they're putting him in the camp. That's why they do it. Yes, he's got pictures of him wearing the apron. He's got pictures of him in the Masonic. I was a Masonic. I was a Mason. Still am. If I go back to the lodge, I can walk my ass back in. He's the same way. He's way the fuck up there. He fits the criteria. Does that make him a bad person? He didn't kill nobody. I haven't heard of him committing crimes. He hasn't done it. Is he? He's the grandpa that took the first vaccine. Yeah, he was. Is he pushed in your face? Yeah, he's an actor. He's a puppet. He's just he's your puppet. He is what he is.
Some people told me for them it was the movie, the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code is another wonderful one, and it's got the movie tons of changes, guys.
The movie, but and I was thinking,
changes or continuity errors, I call them. There's tons. Even the final scene is a big change in it, guys. Lots of changes in that movie. Mona Lisa's got changes. Tons of stuff. If you're in, that's the camp you're in. So I recommend people not hate him so much, but to watch all his shows. Take a piece of paper, write things down.
Because I was thinking that maybe people were saying bad things with that movie because it had a religious tone to it at the end about Jesus having an ancestor, finding out. Because I was thinking, well, that's kind of unfair. And the reason I was saying it's kind of unfair because I was looking at, nobody thinks Harrison Ford is Shell, right? Nobody thinks Harrison Ford is. Harrison Ford has Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade, where he's like the character in Da Vinci Code. He's a professor. He investigates. He does maps, codes, and Raiders of the Lost Ark is about an ark that holds the 10 Commandments. And The Last Crusade is about the Holy Grail.
Well, it's the same director.
And bingo, same director,
same producers.
So why? That's what I'm trying to get at. I was like, well, why does Tom Hanks get all this, but Harrison Ford doesn't? And he played in the exact same kind of a movie.
Yeah, He had this. It's the same directors, it's the same producers, the same movie. Just a different actor with a different movie set. He's just a puppet, And is he really telling you things that are making you upset? I mean, he's giving you the answers. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you're into codes and all that fun stuff, even if it's true or not, He's giving it to you. If you're a gumshoe, if you're a Sherlock Holmes, you'll watch his movies and you'll get all of these clues from the directors. Maybe he's telling you the truth. Maybe he's telling you the information you want to hear. I just write it down. I don't follow anybody. I just take the information down. I tell people to be non-biased.
Book was better. I think everybody who said they read the book from the movie is always better.
Yeah,
I mean, that's almost none.
Yeah, he's in all of those movies. Every one of them. It's just continuously. I don't hate the man. I maybe he's just trying to tell you guys something. Maybe they're trying to tell you something. Maybe they're trying to give you the answers in movies. He's just an actor.
I mean, Tom Hanks. If a movie comes out and it's saying starring Tom Hanks, it's not like I'm standing up saying, "Oh my God, I gotta watch it." Okay,
well, here's the thing.
I watched his last movie on Apple about the wolf. I don't know, the submarines.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that one because I was in the Navy, so that made. Well,
but it wasn't like it wasn't like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever,
Well, let's flip it around. Now, if I was somebody out there and if Tom Hanks, I'm just flipping, guys, I'm playing the devil's advocate and flipping things. I always try to play both sides just for the role. You don't have to be on the whatever side. You just could play the part. In your mind, you're thinking, what if he's making shows that are giving you the answers? And now you have oppositions telling you, oh, he's a shill. Don't watch Tom Hanks movies. To get you to not watch them, to not get don't watch the Da Vinci Code because Tom Hanks in it. Well, what if the Da Vinci Code's giving you answers? What if it's giving you and if you're a Sherlock Holmes, you're a sleuth, you like to follow codes, you just being non-biased and taking notes. You're not following nobody. You're just taking notes. They don't want you to do that. So they're going to say he's a shill, the opposite. I'm doing the opposite. He's a shill. Don't watch Tom Hanks. In other words, don't watch any of his shows. So you're not going to get the answer.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Hate him so you don't get the answers. Other people say, I like him. I'm going to follow the game and follow whatever you guys want. I don't care.
If you guys want to watch a real submarine movie that I think is fantastic, you guys in the chat, you guys should check out U571.
U571.
That was a fucking badass submarine movie. That movie was intense.
Eric,
McConaughey, Bill Paxton, Harvey Keitel.
Eric, 571. What if 571 come out to?
That's 13.
Yeah,
I know.
13. Okay, there you go.
It comes out to 13. It does.
If there's a 13 in it, you guys want to check it out. That's the source code telling you to look at it. I'm just saying from my point of view, if it has a 13 in it, I always look at it as a source code and I look at it. Something to look at or something to see if it's got a 13 in it. Flash somewhere in some corner. Oh, it comes out to 13. I'm going to take a look at it.
Listen, when you can make a movie, right, and you can make Bon Jovi look decent, did all right.
Yeah.
There's Bon Jovi right there in the middle.
Yeah, Bon Jovi. He's in it.
He was in it. He dies quick. So, I mean, he's not like, but
yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah, that's a good movie.
That really is a good movie.
Bill Paxton, great freaking actor. Another shill. There's Bill Paxton's called another shill because he's in Apollo 13. Yeah, which used to be Apollo 11 for me, but now it's Apollo 13. It used to be
friend say that? Dark Glasses Woody. A shill is defined by the willingness to promote a narrative that is not their own, which has specific political and culture objectives.
Absolutely.
And that's true. Now, I will say there is a difference between Tom Hanks and a normal actor because Tom Hanks gets to pick his roles.
Yep.
He's not dying to pick a role. So he can pick a specific political culture objective because he can. Now, a lot of actors can't. You just need a job. So you're going to play a character that you just want to get paid. But Tom Hanks is a person that can pick his role. So
look at Keanu Reeves. People don't know that Keanu Reeves is in all these weird movies from before The Matrix. He played a kid actor as Buddha. So he played Buddha, the one where he was an American kid, and then the reincarnation of Buddha. So he had to go over to Tibet. He played in Keanu Reeves played in a time travel movie. He's played in lots of interesting roles too. Again, I always tell people, you got to remember, maybe this is one big, if you're in the camp of this is a simulation, just saying, don't have to believe that, then all these people are just playing a role. Doesn't mean they're bad guys. That means just the way it lined up. Keanu Reeves played these roles for you to know about. These guys played these roles for you to know about. The Bible is a bunch of characters playing roles that you should know about. The Quran, the Torah, people playing roles, just like in the movies. Comic books, people playing a role, all the way up to now for your information. Nothing to do with anything other than in the simulation period, people playing roles.
He played in My Private on Idaho, where he played a gay character. Razor's Edge, about a group that a guy murdered a woman and nobody went to the police, and they're like tearing apart because they should have went to the police, but they didn't care. They're like, nobody showed feelings in that movie. I mean, yeah, you're right.
He played all these unusual roles. And if you actually were a fan of his, and same as Tom Hanks, if you go watch all of Tom Hanks and you just look at his movie lineup and you go, wow, these are unusual. If you look at them, they've all got these unique messages. Go at Keanu Reeves, man. Look at all his shit. Same thing. Some of these people. Yeah. Again, I just think it was just, that's the way it was planned. I mean, that's me though. I don't believe in free will. I believe everything's written. I'm with the Muslims, so I just think it's all supposed to happen that way, all the way down. Again, I'm alone with that one.
I mean, and if you look at Keanu Reeves, like you said, I mean, some of his movies, I'm not talking about like the John Wicks. Of course, we know him in The Matrix. Bill and Ted was about time travel, going through wormholes.
In history.
About replicas, robots that clones.
Yeah.
Look
at it.
And, remember, before The Matrix, he did Johnny Mnemonic. What was it called?
Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah.
About the AI.
About the AI.
He's
in it. He's in all them unique roles all the way down, just like Tom Hanks. He was handpicked from a child. Come on, man. Was he grown on the fucking people with they were growing on the fucking handpick farm where they picked him for the roles? It's a whole government conspiracy with the CIA. Let's slow it down.
There you are. There it is. Little Buddha, like you're talking about.
Little Buddha.
And of course, my favorite movie of his, Point Break, Johnny Utah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Undercover. Yeah. So he's got it too.
Video short, Kellogg's cornflakes.
Yeah, and I've seen continuity errors in a lot of his movies, by the way. And when people call them the Mandela effects, I just call them continuity errors, which means I'm not 100%. I just think something's a little bit different when I see it.
He was in Youngblood.
Wow, didn't know that.
Youngblood. I know Youngblood starred Rob Lowe, and Patrick Swayze was in it. But what was his role in Youngblood?
All-star cast, boy. Yeah. Huh. Yes, there you go. I guess technically he would be considered a shill.
Yeah.
He's pushing an agenda.
Now
he's pushing an agenda, and he was homosexual as admired private eye. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman on that list. Now I know Morgan Freeman he's a voice actor. He does documentaries. Is it because of the documentaries that?
No, you don't even remember. Don't you remember? He played the role of Nelson Mandela. He looks like Nelson Mandela. He played, and then they had a character.
In that rugby movie, right?
Yeah, and also in the movie the Mandela Effect, that really bad movie they made with that guy going crazy, killing people. The African American actor looked identical to him, and they were trying to get him to Morgan Freeman to do the part, but he didn't do it. They found someone who looked like him because he looked like Nelson. In fact, if you look up Nelson Mandela right now, you might even get Morgan Freeman's face pop up by accident. Also, he plays God. He plays God in two different movies. He plays in these weird roles like that.
Now,
I mean, that's why I'm assuming
some in movies. Danny Glover Parenting 1987, Sidney Poitier, Mandela D. Kirk, Morgan Freeman, Invictus. Was that the movie called? And then Idris Elba played him in Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Lawrence Fishburne in Madiba.
Yeah. Well,
What
yeah.
what the hell is Madiba?
These are African movies, or about Africa. So yeah, he played that role. He played Nelson Mandela. So he also played God. He played God in roles, and now he's got his own show. I think it was on HBO or Showtime, or I think Netflix maybe about life after death. Search for God. He has got one called Search for God. So he's got a lot of these iconic little bit of roles. I mean, he played God, like two different Bruce Almighty. I can't remember the other one, but I mean, that's why I'm only assuming, guys, because somebody put him on the list. So Eric's only taking what you guys put on the list.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you my honest opinion why Morgan Freeman. I go, okay, Morgan Freeman. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I can see that. This is why, because he played Nelson Mandela, and then he has all these iconic roles. Yeah, just like in that same field. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. My guess is as good as anyone else's out there. I'm stupid.
But now, do you think everything out of Hollywood is all considered shells?
I think people play their parts. I think it's a 50-50. Some of them, have a role to play. It's plausible. I'll call it plausible. Yeah. And then other people just happen to be there at the right time, pick the right part at the right time to come off as a certain kind of character that gave a message off. I don't think they planned it. I don't even think the director planned it that way. I just think that for whatever reason, I'm more in the camp of this is all simulation-ish. However, you can still break your toe and get your balls kicked. It's going to hurt. So it's a damn real fucking simulation. It's all set out into a narrative, just perfectly planned all the way through. Everything.
I like what Dark Last Woody wrote here. John Wayne was a shell for manliness. That's
wasn't it? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was one of my favorite actors. I love John Wayne. He lost his. If you're into the camp of continuity errors like I am, I've noticed that he lost his swagger a little bit. I watch his shows. I'm like, what happened to John Wayne's swagger? It looks a little feminine. It doesn't look like the same. But yeah, there you go. John Wayne is a perfect example of someone that could be called a shill. Because he was the quintessential man's man. So that's why he portrayed that part. I fucking love John Wayne, man. God, he's one of the greatest actors ever. Yeah, there's a good example. I like that example. That's perfect.
Now, some people wrote me. I know some of this is a joke. I know. Robert Alley says he called himself a shell. Well, I guess, Robert Alley, I guess you could be a shell because you do create music. And I guess if you create music, I guess you could be part of the establishment. Now, somebody wrote, George Bush. And I think George Bush, I don't know exactly you could call him a shell. I think he's more of a puppet where he was, everybody knows that Dick Cheney was really the man running the country, and George Bush was just like the like the daddy's puppet.
Boy.
So I mean, he's already getting paid by the government. So
he was just there. He's a puppet. They all are. In the end, we don't want to even go that direction, but without even going into the details of it, we all pretty much know they all are. I think everybody in my sidebar, your sidebar, our sidebar, know that, they're puppets, man. Every one of them. They're not making no real decision. They're giving little fucking things to make a decision about. Give and take. They go and come. Another new president comes through.
I liked him. I thought he was kind of funny. He made the stupidest, funniest comment that just out of nowhere, like, got some liver. I mean, he would just do things like, man, he was just happy drinking beer. I know he quit drinking, whatever, but he's just
right.
I would love to have a barbecue with George Bush and eat some ribs with that guy. Try to give him a little beers and try to get him to talk a little bit. I bet he's a fun guy to hang out with. Watching football.
I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he has a great barbecue.
He used to own a baseball team, the Texas Rangers, and he had to sell the Texas Rangers because you can't own a team while you're president. Well, it makes sense, right? You can't.
They're just schmucks, man. They're not.
So another name on the list was yours. Robert Wood was on there like twice. So Bob, so this is the one that everybody's been waiting for. Bob, why are you a shell?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys want the fucking truth? Is I am living off $1,400 a month in a flat that I take care of fucking rescue fucking animals. So I get like a cheap place to stay. I pay for Eric. I am a minimalist without fucking being a minimalist because I don't have a choice. It's not something I fucking chose with a book. So people think, how is this guy coming on here with all this information and doing all this stuff and running around all overseas and doing all these things? I'm doing it because I am doing it. I doing it because I'm getting on fucking trains. I'm getting on fucking planes with little money I have. I save up and I go do things on a fucking dime. And I just made it whatever I can make it with what I can do. And people are like, well, he's got to be a government paid guy because he's doing all these things. I'm doing it broke. I'm doing it with meeting people. Hey, man, if you buy me a meal, I'll buy you a meal next time when I got it. Kind of stuff like that. I'm living with people and getting along with people like we would do back in the day. The couch fucking surfing thing. I'm having a great time. People my age aren't. You can't be living that way. And I worked at, Eric, I worked at Smithsonian Institute. I worked there. I worked at Fort Lewis Historical Museum. Okay. So I was in the United States Navy. I've done all these things. I went to school for archaeology. So I've got all these credentials and stuff, and I'm just using what I have, what I went to school for and stuff. And I'm filming it, talking about what I see, the continuity errors. I use that word more. I don't use the other one. And I tell people what's going on a budget. So he can't be. He's got to be a government agent. There's no way he can do that.
If you're getting money from the government, I guess by the definition of what a shell is, I mean, I guess, I got injured in the military, so I'm a service connected a veteran. And what that means is you do get some money from the government for the injuries you received from the government for serving the country. So I guess you could say we are shells. Now, I will also say this, that probably 80% of all your truther channels are probably all themselves are shells because they're probably all making COVID-19 money from unemployment insurance is technically getting paid by the government. And they're probably saying that they are looking for work, but they're not. They're taking advantage of being on YouTube. So technically, what I'm saying what I'm technically saying is, I guess we're all shells, right?
Yeah. I mean, I encourage it. I always tell people, if you could make a living, if you're a conspiracy theorist, keep it cool. Don't get yourself thrown off. You can go for a living. Go for it, man. I can't, but you do it. I encourage it. If you're legit. Yeah.
Now, I always say, when you hear the word shell, you're saying, if somebody says Tom Hanks is a shell, this guy is a shell, or Robert Alley is a shell. I mean, he wrote that himself, so I'm not making fun of him. He wrote that himself. Now, first of all, if somebody said like Robert Alley is a shell, right? The first thing you should do is who is saying that person is a shell? That's where you start with. You start with not the person they're naming the shell. Who is calling him a shell? Yeah. What is his background? Because one of the things that I have learned through this year is when people are afraid that, I'm not calling anybody a liar, but you're not telling people the truth on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, and you have fear that this group is calling you out for the person that you are, and you start calling them a shell.
Yeah, well,
people call people names when they're afraid. Listen, we were called a fourth grader term, dysfunctional artist. We're dysfunctional agents. We were called government agents and stuff. Now, like I said, before you take the term why you're agents, you got to look at who's calling this even in the first place. What is their background? So if you're automatically hearing like Morgan Freeman is a shell, like what we're doing here, we had a discussion on why. Where is that coming from? Because that's where you start. Before you assume somebody's a shell or a government agent, who's calling it? Where is it starting from? And why are they saying it? What's their background? Because that's where you should start with anything about Hollywood, about shells. Now, like you said, Tom Hanks, he's getting paid to do a job.
Entertainer.
From Hollywood, which Hollywood does, trying to influence. Now, the difference between Tom Hanks and most actors is Tom Hanks pick his role. So when he picks a role that might have a conspiracy in it, you're right, he does kind of have to answer it because he gets to pick his roles. Where if they go, Eric, we want you to play in this movie, you're going to play Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the money and play Jesus Christ. I don't believe in it because I'm not. What's this? Pancho was waiting. Oh, Tom Hanks is a woman. Everybody's saying Tom Hanks is a woman, but
everybody is. when you're a baby.
I can see where Tom Hanks has to answer for some stuff because he gets to pick his roles versus other people don't.
Yeah, he's on the top of the list, man. He's just.
But I always said, like you said, Bob, do your research.
Yeah.
People use the word shell. You got to first ask yourself, well, first of all, who's saying this, even in the first place?
Yeah, everybody. If you're, well, we go back to Tom DeLonge. Now that's a shill, but he'll call himself one because he works for the government, and he's the kind of guy that's a great example of that. Other people that they be called that again. Tom Hanks, actor, Joe Rogan, entertainer. If they're pushing agenda, they're going to work for a commercial company. If I was a clothing salesman. And if I can sell androgynous clothes for guys dressing up as women, you're gonna make $1 million bucks. Yeah, you can sell whatever you want to these fuckers. You're gonna make up an agenda to sell things to that agenda. I mean, if there was a way for me to sell tinfoil hats to the conspiracy theorists, I would make a tinfoil hat.
I just say you gotta have a strong will. Listen, you know what Hollywood is. I watch movies for entertainment. I know it's fake. I know what they're trying to push. You don't go out and believe everything you see, even in the first place. Just
don't be mad.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy. I use it. Enjoy. I enjoy music. Some music is called. Some certain bands are called fakes now. They're sellouts. But if you enjoy it, you enjoy it.
Yeah. So, a lot of good bands.
Guys, beyond that, I think we talked enough about shells. About before you call somebody, your word shell, you call somebody out of shell. First of all, just look at who's saying it first. Just look at that person before you start researching the shell. Find out where the source is coming from. You start there, and then you move forward on who has a shell. Now, this Friday, we're going to be doing a Matrix show. So we got a good Matrix show coming up this Friday. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be, I want to talk a little bit deeper with the Matrix. Like, I want to start asking questions like if you have 2 questions to answer, why you believe we're living in simulation? Why do you say it's all fake? I want to hear both sides from everybody. Why is it fake? Why is it fake? Why do you think it's real? I think that'll be interesting. So we're going to have a great Matrix show this Friday. Beyond that, I think we're going to end it here. I think we did good. We talked enough about shell. There's nobody. You could do 100 names on a list, but I took the names that was sent to me, and that's the people we talked about. So beyond that, guys, we're going to end this show. I want to thank everybody for coming, and that's it. Have a good one, everybody. See ya.